if you're not reading Christopher Moore, what are you doing? He is by far one of the funniest writers I've ever read, hands down. This is 2 books of 3. I looked everywhere in my bookshelf, could not find Bite Me, but there are 3 books in this series, so we're just going to talk about what we have right here. Okay, so let's go into it. So we're going to start with Bloodsucking Fiends. So this is hysterical. This starts out with Jody, who is like on her way to work, and out of nowhere she gets pulled into a alleyway and gets bitten by a vampire and wakes up the next day burned under a trash can, and she's now a vampire and having to navigate this world, where she then eventually meets Thomas Flood, who is a writer who moves from Indiana to San Francisco, and he wants to write his first novel. But in the process, California's expensive, been there, lived there my whole life, and he finds a job at a Safeway and starts working there to pay the bills. And while he's doing that, and had just moved there, he's living in an apartment with 5 Chinese men, all with the same name, Wong. So let me start with this right here. Christopher Moore is a hysterical writer. He is hysterical. The way he character builds, his satirical, calamity-filled, dark humor is just so funny. He brings in characters with subplots and just has this really interesting, hysterical way of writing and dialogue, and he's just so witty. So some people may not like his humor, but his humor is awesome. It's fantastic. Okay, back to the plot. I'm sorry. So we have Tommy Flood, who has moved in one of the nights of Jody out trying to kind of like figure out this vampire thing. She meets Tommy, and kind of they hit it off, and she's like, hey, I'm going to use this guy to run my errands during the day because I need somebody to do that. Well, they eventually like start liking each other and start hooking up because she's a vampire, so like lust is like forefront of it, and Tommy is like, she's hot, heck yeah, so they start hooking up, and he starts running her errands, and eventually, he's a writer, so he's curious, so he starts like doing experiments on her, and some of you might not like some of the stuff he does. I mean, there's some like necrophilia, there's some, I mean, it's not in it, but like there's hints of it. There's hints of like him doing like putting garlic on her or touching her with crucifixes. I mean, some people might have trigger warnings, but it's really not bad. It's hysterical the way he writes this. So really funny. Love book 1. Let's get into book 2. Now I'm not wanting to give too much away, but basically at the end of book 1, or during kind of the end of book 1, the guy who bit Jody is, eventually trying to kind of like kill Tommy because she's not really allowed to have anybody else, So in book 2, it segues over there where Elijah is trying to kind of like get at them, he's trying to kill Tommy off, but at the same process, guess what? Jody made Tommy into a vampire now. So now his whole life has changed, and now they don't have a minion to like run their errands anymore. So Tommy has to find someone. That's when you introduce Abby Normal. That is our new 16-year-old going against her parents' goth girl, and she loves vampires. She's obsessed with them and wants to do anything that Tommy wants her to do because she's like, he's a vampire, of course I'm gonna do whatever you want, So now we have that character. So now in book 2, you have continued characters from book 1, like the hobo leader of San Francisco that knows everybody and gives them their intel. You now have Abby Normal, and you have also another character who is a blue stripper. Yes, I'm right. It is a stripper who is all blue because she thinks that that is what's going to get her clientele. And guess what? She does. Like, crazy. So Christopher Moore has this way of creating these characters that are just so odd and so weird and so different, and creating this humor that is just so oddball and off the wall, but he does it so well. He does it so well and in a weird, dark, humorous way. So if you like dark humor, if you want to laugh and giggle and find a book that is just lighthearted and silly, this is a great series. This is a series I suggest. I got my sister into this series. I've had many people read this series. It is fantastic. He has many other books, but I would definitely start with this one. 10 out of 10 series. Absolutely love him. So funny.